Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Libby and I'm back today with a video all about how I stay productive and motivated and make sure I use my time effectively and get through all my work, and basically how I try and sort of stay on top of everything and keep productive. So if you don't know me already, I am a second year law student, and that basically means having a lot of work in itself. So I have definitely developed more skills now I'm in second year and sort of changed my way of working because I have so much to do all of the time. So I thought I would share with you how I sort of manage my time, how I stay productive, and all of my sort of tips and things that I do to keep motivated and stay productive. So I'm going to split this up into 5 sections. So the first section is going to be planning, the second section is going to be setting goals, the third one is going to be time management, the fourth one is getting rid of distractions, and the fifth one is time off. So let's start with planning. So to-do lists are my absolute saviour. Like, I have so many to-do lists all the time. So I have one big master to-do list, which is basically the things I need to get done in like the week, or even like a little bit longer than that, and it will be like a whole page of A4 usually, and that might not even be everything I need to do for the week. That might just be the sort of things I need to get done the soonest. And then I will also sometimes make weekly to-do lists, and then from that I will also make daily to-do lists. So I find that if I have a daily to-do list and I know what I need to get done in that day, and I've planned everything that I need to get done in that day, I am so much more productive than if I come with no plan and no idea what I need to get done. I quite often sort of date my weekly to-do list as well, so I've just got a visual of roughly when everything needs to be due, so I know what to prioritise in my daily to-do list and when I need to get everything done by. And it basically, just knowing what I'm working towards, having a visual of all the work I have to get done in a week, keeps me motivated in itself, because I know that I can't fall behind, and I know that if I don't get a lot of work done, then I'm gonna fall behind. So having a big to-do list in itself is a big motivator, because I can see everything that I have to get done and I don't really have a choice whether to get it done or not. So that is one of the main ways that I stay organised and stay motivated. And obviously doing the smaller to-do list means I am productive in a day, because I know exactly what I need to get done in that day. So when I'm making my daily to-do list, if I know that I'm not going to finish a whole task in a day, like a whole week's reading in a day, or for example I might not want to do sort of a full application in a day, I will quite often say that I'll spend 1 hour doing it, because of like Parkinson's law, which basically, if you allow yourself an unlimited amount of time, the task will expand to fill the amount of time that you have. So if you only allow yourself an hour, you're much more likely to be productive and get more of it done in an hour. And also I find myself sort of like rushing at the end of the hour because I have limited my time. So I find that a really good way to make myself sort of increase my productivity if I limit a task to only spending an hour or 2 hours on it. And that also means, so what I do when I've completed a task off my weekly or my daily to-do list is I highlight it, and it gives me a really nice visual of all the work that I've got through so far that day or that week. And if you break it down into smaller tasks on your daily to-do list, like start doing this or spend an hour doing this, once you've highlighted it off, you might not have completed a whole task, but it feels like you've achieved something because you can visually see that you have spent an hour on it, or you have started doing that reading. And yeah, I think seeing everything that I've highlighted off my to-do lists makes me feel like a little bit more accomplished, and it makes me feel like I'm actually getting something done, even though I might not have completed the entire task. So another part of planning that I always do, and I did this last year as well, is I have a week to view diary. So it has like the week on one side and then notes and a to-do list on the other, and I write in all of my lectures and all of my to-do list on one side, and then I will also make sure that I know all of my deadlines. So I spent like a couple of hours the other day going through all of my deadlines, working out how much it all counted towards my final grade and things like that, just so I knew that I was up to date with what was due and when, and what sort of things I had coming up. And then I will also write when they are released. So when an essay is released, I will write that in my diary. I will also write when the essay is due in my diary, and I will sometimes write in when we get the feedback back as well, so I know when to be expecting that. And I'll write all of that in my diary, along with obviously my seminars and my lectures and things like that, just so I can see what I have have, when it's going to be due, and really visualize what I have due in the next sort of coming week, and yeah, what's on my schedule. So that really helps me stay organized and see what I'm actually working towards. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is a really big motivator for me, because I am really goals orientated. So that is just setting yourself goals. So I set myself goals all the time, and this is obviously like through my to-do list, but then I will also set myself goals of, for example, doing 2 applications a week, reading a book a week, so reading 50 books in a year. Yeah, and just setting goals like that you're working towards, so you feel like you're working towards something. Yeah, that's a really big motivator for me, and it helps me stay productive because I know what I'm working towards. It doesn't feel like sort of like far away, unachievable stuff. Like I actually know what I need to do every week or every day to be working toward these goals. So that helps me sort of like stay on top of things and be working towards stuff all the time and know what I'm working towards, basically by setting myself goals. Yeah, but basically I find that really helpful for productivity and motivation and stuff like that, because I can see the goals that I'm working towards and I'll feel accomplished when I complete them. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is time management, which is obviously a very important skill to have regardless. But the way that I sort of manage my time now, I am in second year at uni, and this is for uni work, other work, and just all of the stuff that I do, is I will mainly do uni work and other work during a 9 till 5 or like a 9 till 6 on weekdays, and then on Saturdays and Sundays I will do more like editing, and I will do work, but like not in such a strict time frame. Also, as I mentioned in my sort of to-do list thing, if I know something's going to take more than the time that I have in a day, or like I'm not going to spend the whole day doing it and I know I'm not going to get it done, I'll only allow 1 or 2 hours to work on it because of Parkinson's law. I didn't used to do that as well, but I actually think I'm better at time management now that I allocate certain amounts of time to each thing, because if I used to be writing an essay, I used to sort of like not really do anything else, but because I'd get bored or tired of doing the essay, then I'd not really be doing anything else productive, because all of my focus was going to this essay, and this could be for like a week or 2 weeks. Obviously not completely like I would do other work, but now I find that if I allocate 2 hours to spend on the essay, I'm much more productive than if I knew that I had as much time that I wanted to work on it and started falling behind on other stuff. It means that I actually keep up to date with all of my other work, because it's a break from writing an essay, and it's a bit of a change, and it also means I'm really productive when I'm writing the essay. Obviously I do have whole days when I will purely just write an essay, because it really does help me sort of like get into the mindset of it, or I've got the deadline coming up. And sometimes doing all of that reading at once and really getting into the topic does help, but I've also found that it really helps me to sort of like take time away from it and only spend a couple of hours on it and then move on to something else as well. So I use a sort of like a mixture of that, obviously depending like where the deadline is and where I'm at with the essay. And I also find that if it feels like it's going to be a really big overwhelming task and I don't want to start on the reading for the essay, or yeah, I'm really not wanting to do anything for it, if I just say, look, it's a manageable goal, you just have to spend 1 hour on the reading for this essay, or 1 hour planning for this essay, or something like that, it feels a lot more manageable than going in and not knowing how long I'm going to spend on it, or having an unlimited amount of time to spend on it. Because I know that I'm going to achieve this goal of spending 1 hour or 2 hours working on it. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is getting rid of distractions. So if you have watched any of my vlogs, I always hide my phone from myself somewhere out of my reach, because I read a study once, and if you can even see your phone, apparently your concentration isn't as good. I'll see if I can find it. So yeah, I will hide my phone out of sight, out of reach. So I literally have to get up and go and get my phone if I want to distract myself. So I find that really helpful. I'll literally put it in a drawer or in another room, and yeah, I can't reach my phone, I can't distract myself, I can't go on social media. And I do that pretty much on every day that I'm working. So like every weekday when I'm at uni, I would always hide my phone from myself, sometimes turning it off, sometimes I've given it up to another housemate of mine when I was trying to write an essay. But yeah, the fact that you have to like turn it back on again is quite like bad if you're trying not to distract yourself. Or if I delete my Instagram, sometimes it means you have to actually go on the Safari app to search for Instagram, and then you're like, should I be doing this? Probably not. Those sorts of things to stop you from distracting yourself on your phone. So hide it, or get that tree app. I've got an app where you can plant a tree and it dies if you go on your phone, which I mean, I don't know, I did it once and I killed my tree because I didn't really care that much about the virtual tree dying, but it has worked for me at other times as well, just to do like a half an hour stint, and yeah, you grow a tree at the end of it. Also, I don't personally do this, but I've also read about the Pomodoro method, which I believe is 25 minutes of studying, a 5-minute break. You do it 4 times, I think, and then have a longer break. So that's obviously tried and tested, and I think a lot of people like that. So perhaps that's something I should try, and yeah, I've definitely heard a lot about that. Another thing that I find to get rid of distractions that works really well for me is putting in headphones and listening to lo-fi music. So it's like, I think it's called like lo-fi hip hop, I don't really know, but it's basically like, it's not got any words and it's quite relaxing. And having the headphones in and having like all the noises in my head rather than hearing everything in the outside world really zones me into my work. I really like feeling like zoned in to my head and my computer, and that really helps me sort of focus and get rid of the distractions, because at uni I'm also opposite a park and I can genuinely really hear what people are saying and like hear everything that's going on in the park, so that definitely helps me zone in and sort of rids me of those sorts of distractions. So my final thing that I'm going to talk about, which I really do need to take my own advice on, is taking time off. So this might sound counterintuitive for like how to be productive and all of that I've prefaced this video with, but you need to take time off to be as productive as possible. I am not very good at this one, often because I feel like if I don't work every day, I'm not going to get it done. And then it usually means that I have days off, sometimes midweek or like half a day of midweek, because I'm so exhausted and I haven't properly allocated days off. So give yourself a set day off. So I try and give myself Sundays off, which doesn't always happen, or at least half of a Sunday off. And I think if you really get into the swing of it and actually just don't do any work, even if you have work to do, quite good. But I find it really hard to switch off and not feel guilty about not doing work. Like when I'm at uni, I can't switch off and not feel guilty about not doing work. So that's definitely something that I'm working on, because I do know that I will be more productive if I'm well rested, a little bit less stressed, and have had some enjoyable time off. And I also think because of lockdown and everything, it's a little bit harder to have time off and sort of enjoy it because there's less things to be doing. So off the back of that, I would say if you find it hard to switch off, which I do, making plans can be really helpful. So if you say to your friends like, can we go for a walk, can we do this, like can we go for lunch or whatever, and actually making a plan, because when you're out and when you're distracted, you can't be doing work, so you probably won't be stressed about it. Like I have found that that helps. If you can go out for a drink in the day or go for a walk, you literally can't be doing work and you're probably going to be distracted. So hopefully the guilt will go away, or you'll feel a little bit better about being away from work and not being sort of like wasting the time. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that I need to change my mentality and value time away from work more and not see it as being lazy or feeling guilty about it. But I think that's definitely something that I personally need to work on. But taking time off as well can mean that you come back freshly motivated, you come back feeling ready to work again, you don't feel so burnt out, so tired, and you can come to the work with fresh eyes. So definitely it is beneficial and it is productive to take time off. I also, another thing that I do and I don't feel so guilty about is just having lie-ins on the weekend and staying in. And now I'm at home, I don't set an alarm. Over Christmas I just get up when I feel like it, because I was so tired when I got back, so I just feel like I deserve the sleep, so I'll just stay in and I don't set alarms. I'm not going to over Christmas, I'm just gonna sleep when I want to. Yeah, and enjoy that. And also another thing that I did during the first big lockdown was I would always have weekends off to give myself a sense of normality, which is what I'm actually going to do. I'm not going to do any uni work on the weekends over Christmas if I can help it, and actually just see my weekends as weekends as well, which I feel a little bit more able to do when I'm at home than when I'm at uni. Also, you can use time off as like an incentive. So if you're feeling really unmotivated, perhaps say like, if I spend half an hour doing this bit of work, then I can take half an hour off, or I can take 20 minutes off to watch an episode of my favourite TV show or whatever. I don't know, I think that would be helpful sometimes. And also another thing like that, I think if you set yourself reasonable goals, which I've mentioned before, if you say literally I'm just going to spend an hour on this rather than feeling overwhelmed by it, you will feel a lot more accomplished if you filled that hour and have done that hour's worth of work. And you may even get into the swing of doing work and actually feel like, you know what, I can do more of this once you've actually got your head into the mindset of doing that work. So yeah, just setting a goal and doing it it's usually beneficial. So that is everything that I have to say about how I stay productive and motivated. And yeah, those are the sorts of things that I do. Obviously there's a lot of like natural motivation, career motivation, all of that sort of stuff, and fear of failure as motivation. But those are the sorts of things that I do to stay productive, and the things I basically just do them all the time. That's how I work. So I hope that has been helpful. I hope you have taken something away from that. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that helps you stay motivated or productive. We can share tips in the comments if you would like to. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, you know the drill. And I will see you in the next video.